In this video, Nate will speak directly to those who have struggled with pornography addiction and courageously owning one's failure to live up to their commitment to loving their wife. The focus of an individual seeking recovery must change from a self-centered view to one that's strong enough to contradict how they previously did things. The restoration process Nate describes is sacrificial. It requires faith, not control, and respect for the recovery process and the feelings of those who have been hurt.
It's amazing how much better we feel after our secret is out. Disclosure was difficult, to be sure, but now that we're on the road to recovery, we experience a tremendous surge of relief. Each day of abstinence, every healthy conversation with a friend or a counselor, every new insight into our old behavior feeds our confidence that the problem is finally being solved. We're recovering. So why isn't our wife as thrilled as we are? The truth is that her experience is different from ours. Disclosure was traumatic for her. And even though our porn use has stopped and our recovery has started, she's just beginning to deal with the impact of what we were doing all that time. Her mind is swirling with new questions. Why would we choose porn over her? What could she have done to prevent it? Why didn't she see it sooner? As these and other questions intensify, she may have trouble sleeping. She may become irritable or anxious, hostile even. She may be hypervigilant or depressed. These are all common responses to trauma, and they're perfectly understandable. For most wives, a husband's porn use feels like infidelity. And to be honest, that's exactly what it is. Research has shown that roughly 60% of women who experience infidelity exhibit significant symptoms of PTSD. In the same way that a returning soldier may be haunted by flashbacks from combat, our wife may be ambushed from time to time by intense emotions related to our infidelity. And when that happens, she may say or do hurtful or disheartening things. It is important that you allow her to express her emotions no matter how disturbing they may be. Any anger she expresses is actually grounds for optimism because it shows that she cares enough to react. Remember, she can only forgive what she has been allowed to feel. That's why you must not pressure her to forgive you right away. Quick forgiveness isn't forgiveness at all, but merely denial. And feelings that are buried will simmer below the surface, poisoning your relationship for years. You and your wife are going to have some dark days in the first years of recovery, punctuated by occasional bursts of sunshine. Here's the key. Don't despair in the dark times, and don't get too optimistic in the good ones. Remain realistic. Stick to your recovery. Much like the stock market, the healing process is an up and down thing. The fluctuations can be distressing, but the overall trend is up, and the wise investor always thinks long term. You have wounded your wife. She'll always bear a scar. But you can both look forward to the day when it will no longer hurt to touch it. That scar, in fact, may become something beautiful, a reminder of your weakness and the miracle of healing. So let's talk about what you can do to help her. I'm sure that you want to help. You love your wife, you really do, and you feel awful about what you've done. Now that you're starting to see how deeply your porn use has wounded her, you want her pain to go away. But here's the problem. Because you are the person who hurt her, you are not in an ideal position to be offering advice and comfort. Not now. At this early stage in the process, Any overt efforts you make to make her feel better will probably appear to be self-serving. It will seem to her that you want her to feel better so that you can feel better, that you want her to get past the pain so that she'll let you off the hook. But still, there are things you can do. The first truly helpful step you can take is to accept full responsibility for your actions. Let her know that you're truly remorseful and that you do not blame her for your choices. Your porn use was never about her. She didn't cause you to do what you did, nor could she have prevented it. You own it. And you're not going to try to talk her out of any of the feelings that your infidelity has caused. You're now in the process of rebuilding trust. There was a time when your wife trusted you implicitly. Because she was secure in your promise of lifelong fidelity, she opened her arms and gave you her heart without reservation. But now, your infatuation with porn has dealt a blow to her emotional security. She feels vulnerable and ambivalent. In order to protect herself emotionally while she processes the implications of your infidelity, she will probably need to set new boundaries. It's vitally important that you honor those boundaries. Like physical fences, boundaries can be moved or removed. Today's boundary may not be permanent, but it's very real today. And you show respect and care for your wife by not disputing it. For now, don't insist on conversations she isn't ready to have. Don't push for decisions that she isn't prepared to make. Don't press for physical intimacy or even physical proximity. If she needs you to move out of the bedroom or out of the house for now, do your best to comply without complaint. One way to demonstrate that you're serious about eliminating your porn habit is by going for help. Whether you go to a pastor or a counselor or a recovery group or a treatment program, you need to do something more than promise to quit using porn. Actions speak louder than words, and seeking outside assistance is one way to show that you are ready to do whatever it takes to heal. Ultimately, however, going for help is something that you must do for yourself. Don't make the mistake of jumping through hoops in order to impress your wife. And don't expect her to shower you with recognition and affection, to throw you a parade just because you're finally starting to behave the way you should have been behaving all along. If your only reason for seeking help is to convince your wife to reconcile, then you are pressuring her, not helping her. She needs to know that you are permanently committed to the active pursuit of sexual integrity, no matter what she decides to do. Remember, husbands and wives tend to heal at different rates. You'll experience rapid relief from the moment you commit to living porn-free, and the help you receive along the way will give you a growing sense of confidence in your recovery. As you learn how to cope with distress without resorting to porn, you'll become ready for secure attachment. Don't expect your wife to be ready as soon as you are. She has been following you, watching you, is probably a few steps behind. Don't rush her. It takes time to heal from betrayal trauma. Meanwhile, you can help by supporting any decision she makes to seek counseling or to participate in a support group for wives, such as the Sarah Society. But don't push her to get help. Any pressure you exert will likely feel to her like blame shifting. She needs to make that decision for herself.